Everybody, clap your hands!
You know, if there's anything that's more disappointing than a show being bad, it's a show with wasted potential. And that's honestly, I think, my biggest gripe with Juni Taisen Zodiac War. It's a giant, stinking pile of wasted potential. And that really sucks, because I genuinely really enjoyed this show when I first started it. I fell in love with the premise, I think Death Game Battle Royales are just cool by nature, and all the characters had super neat and varied concepts. Now, before I go any farther, I cannot properly cover this show unless I go into massive spoiler territory, so that. But I guess before I get too deep into it, the Zodiac War is a battle royale tournament that takes place every 12 years, and features one combatant representing each of the 12 Chinese zodiac animals. The events we watch take place during the, 12th war. Each combatant has to swallow a poison gem that detonates in 12 hours at 12 p.m. unless they get all the other gems from the other combatants. The winner gets any one wish granted. We follow Boar, a woman who... Alright, we follow the story of Dog, who has... Damn it! We follow Chicken, who can... Son of a bitch! This brings us to what I think was one factor that really hurt the show. There's an incredible lack of consistency with how we as the audience get to view the action. And air quotes around action, I'll get back to that later. They seem to go at it with the attitude of, oh, battle royale, who's gonna die next? So much tension. But all it really does is make it super hard to actually give half a horse's ass about any of them. There are other shows that do the Battle Royale format much better, like the Fate series or Future Diary, and both of those shows feature a main character that we get to view the show through the eyes of. We also get very prominent side characters, we get characterization, but you can do that and still yoink them out of the story. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Which leads into a connected problem. The show falls into a very predictable trap of, here's this character's backstory. Now you know that they're about to die. If a character gets their backstory told to us, they're about to be taken out back and shot. And it happens just about without fail. If you're going to build a show based around a battle royale with no main character for us to follow, you gotta keep that tension and suspense up somehow. Don't tell us who is about to die. The only character who really seemed to break this mold at any point was Monkey. That's just because she got her backstory, then an episode of nothing, just backstory for another character happened, and then the next episode they had more backstory, and realized, oh shit, we only have 12 episodes, and we forgot to kill someone. Quick, do something. And killed off the 3 characters we just learned about, swiftly and unceremoniously. So props to her, I guess, for dodging the backstory bullet for as long as she did. But even if you were caught off guard by her not dying in her backstory episode, you would likely still know that she was going to die next. And why is that? Because the show already told you. It makes it very clear who is going to die in what order and who is going to win right from the very start. If you notice the order of the deaths, there seems to be a pattern here. And in case it wasn't obvious enough, let's just cross-check that with the credits. Okay, so look, I get it. Maybe it's just a fun alternate version of the original Zodiac story. And yeah, sure, maybe that's true, ignoring that this is the 12th war featuring people already based off an already established Zodiac. But even so, then you are shooting yourself in the foot by trying to be dramatic and suspenseful with your deaths. We already know how this tournament is going to play out. You literally are not trying to hide this information from us. Therefore, it does not work. So, we've established that A, they lack a connection to any character, and B, they lack any suspense or drama. So that means they have to make up for it with the awesome fights then, right? No, of course not. The fights are absolutely god-awful. 0 out of 12. There's no real fighting that happens. Like, hot damn, you established these characters as the most dangerous mercenaries and fighters from around the world, some possessing crazy and magical powers or skills, and then you don't give us anything. A bomb expert, a drunken-style martial artist, a necromancer. And yet the fights are routinely finished after a singular attack. A crap ton of build-up to a disappointing payoff. Which, honestly, is a great allegory to the show itself, because, oh my god, the ending did not make this journey worth it. As I stated, the winner of the Zodiac War got to have any one wish granted. Some of the combatants had a selfless wish, others selfish, but everyone had a wish they wanted. Except Rat. And let me just check the old wheel. Ah, yep, Rat's the winner. Well, that's okay, I'm sure he'll figure it out in the end. Are you fucking kidding me? So essentially, nothing we just watched matters, as now the only character that remains, the one that the show is now trying to make us establish a connection and sympathy to, just forgot that any of this ever happened. Oh, and now there are the credits. Cool. Cool story, guys. 12 out of 12. Absolute masterpiece. Look, this approach and conclusion could have worked. Could have worked. But I feel like they needed to establish from the start, alright, this is going to be the story of how Rat won the Zodiac War and the horrors he had to endure to do it. And that would have been so much cooler. Instead of trying to have this faux drama and suspense, establish from the start that that's the kind of approach you're taking, and we can see how the sneaky Rat uses the rest of the combatants to win the war, and how it slowly eats away at him and destroys him. There's the interesting hook then. Hell, do it well enough, and it could even excuse the shit tier fights, because the character we're following isn't about winning through his own combat prowess. It's about assessing situations and taking the most optimal outcomes. That would have been an interesting story to follow. And it would have made that final wish actually make sense and work, and we would have accepted that, because we saw the amount of trauma he put himself through in order to get to the end by using sometimes good people in order to win this war. We would have understood his decision and maybe not felt as betrayed by it as we do with the current story. Oh, and before I finish railing on the show, I gotta bring up the animation. It was mostly fine throughout the majority of the show, nothing really standing out. Oh god, why? Oh my god, the CGI is awful, holy crap, just make it stop! Why are you still using it? They're not even fighting, they're just standing there. What are you doing, Zodiac War? In my last I'd Love to Watch Recommend video, I ended it by, ironically, ultimately saying that I did recommend the show if you could get past the issues I raised. So, do I recommend Juni Taisen's Zodiac War? God, no! Like I said, I think the show had a cool premise and neat characters, but at the end of the day, they just completely failed to do anything worthwhile with them. Save yourself the time and do not watch Zodiac War. You know, Rat's Wish is actually looking pretty good right now. As always, thank you so much for watching, and a big thank you to my current patrons. If you wouldn't mind swinging by my Patreon, link below, and considering donating to help me out, I'd really and truly appreciate any help you can give. Until next time, I'm CJ Pecor, the Angry Avocado, and I still don't have a sign-off.